Now we will see Ohm's law. The statement of Ohm's law, let us see first. At constant temperature, the potential difference across a conductor is proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. That means the symbol for potential difference is V and the symbol for current is I. So according to the statement of Ohm's law, V is proportional to I at constant temperature. Now look at this diagram. This is a cross section of a metallic conductor and it is having a length equal to L. XY is a metallic conductor whose length is L. The end X is connected to the positive of a battery, so it is having a positive potential, and the end Y is connected to the negative of a battery and hence it is having a negative potential. Therefore, there is a potential difference existing between the ends X and Y, and the potential difference is denoted by what? A capital V. Okay. Now, because of the applying of potential difference across the conductor, how do the free electrons flow? They are all flowing from the negative potential towards the positive potential. That is against the opposite to the direction of the electric field. So these electrons constitute a current which is called as electron current. But right since the invention of electric current by conventional method, it was assumed that positive charges only are flowing through a conductor. So by conventions, if you see, the flow of positive charges must take place from the positive potential towards the negative potential, and such a flow of positive charges is called as what? Conventional current. So here two types of current we have come across. One is the electron current. The electron current is due to the flow of negatively charged electrons from the lower potential to the higher potential in a direction opposite to that of the electric field, and the conventional current is represented by the symbol capital I. Okay, usually the conventional current is represented by the symbol capital I in any circuit. Okay, and this is the current which is due to the flow of positive charges from the positive potential towards the negative potential. Anyhow, the statement is the potential difference is directly proportional to I. Therefore, we can write V is equal to a constant of proportionality R into I, where this constant of proportionality is called as the electrical resistance of the conductor. The electrical resistance of the conductor, okay, of the conductor. So from this expression V equal to R into I, let us try to get an expression for the electrical resistance R. So what is R equal to? V divided by I. So this is the expression for the electrical resistance. So how to define electrical resistance from this expression? The electrical resistance of a conductor is defined as the ratio of the potential difference applied across the conductor to the current flowing through the conductor. So its unit must be equal to what? Volt per ampere. But the standard unit for electrical resistance is what? Ohm. Ohm is the standard unit for resistance. Okay. So the reciprocal of the electrical resistance 1 by R, reciprocal of the electrical resistance is denoted by the symbol capital G, and this is called as conductance. Okay, conductance. The conductance is having a unit. So its unit of conductance is equal to what? 1 by ohm, and that is equal to MHO mho. Okay, because the unit of resistance is ohm, the reciprocal of ohm must be the unit for the conductance, and that is denoted as mho. And again, ohm is having a symbol like a hat. So this is the symbol used to express the unit of ohm, and hence this mho must be ohm power minus 1. Okay, mho is nothing but ohm power minus 1. So resistance is defined as the ratio of the potential difference across the two ends of the conductor to the current flowing through the conductor, and its SI unit is ohm. and the reciprocal of the electrical resistance is called as the conductance, and it's having a unit equal to the reciprocal of ohm. 1 by ohm is also called as mho or ohm power minus 1. Okay. Now, there are some factors on which the resistance of a wire or conductor depends upon. So that is the next topic we are going to study, the factors influencing. Okay, the factors influencing are, okay, factors influencing resistance of conductor, resistance of a conductor. So what are the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends upon? Now for that, let us consider two conductors. Okay, one conductor is made up of copper whose length is 1 meter, for example. This is 1 meter, and another conductor of the same thickness and area of cross section, but it is having a length of 2 meters. So this is conductor 1 and this is conductor 2. In both these conductors, they do not have the same electrical resistance. Though they are made up of the same material, and though they are having the same thickness and area of cross section, what is differing from each other? It is the length. So, how does the current flow through these conductors? We have seen in the earlier picture. It is due to the flow of free electrons from one end to the other end. And on the way, these free electrons will have frequent and random collisions with the ions of the crystal or ions of the conducting wire. As a result, their flow will be obstructed to some extent. So this obstruction to the flow of the passage of electrons only is called as electrical resistance. So this electrical resistance is nothing but the opposition offered by the positive ions which are present inside the conductor during the collision of these free electrons. In this picture we have shown only the flow of free electrons. Other than free electrons, every atom is having a positively charged nucleus also, is it not? So they are all ions. These ions will be vibrating in the path of these electrons, and there will be frequent collision of these free electrons with these ions. This only is a measurement of what the opposition offered to the flow of free electrons, and it is called as electrical resistance. So naturally, if the length of the path is very small or short, very less collisions only the free electrons must have encountered, and if the length of the path is very large, then more number of collisions should have taken place. This is the simple example I can compare is number of speed breakers. Number of speed breakers in a road. If the road length is less, only a very few number of speed breakers the automobiles will come across. Suppose if you take a very long distance, many number of speed breakers must have been there, means then the opposition to the speed also will be more. In a simple context now, I can say that the resistance of a conductor R is directly proportional to the length. So this is very important factor. So what is the first factor on which the electrical resistance of a conductor depends? It is the length of the conductor. And how does it depend? The resistance is directly proportional to the length. Okay. Now, next case, let us take another wire which is having a length of 1 meter. So this is having a length of 1 meter, and another wire which is very thick. Okay, very thick. This also is having a length of 1 meter. In the second case, I have considered two conductors having the equal length. But what is different? The area of cross section is different. Area of cross section is different. Okay. Now, in which of these two cases more number of electrons can cross the cross section every second? You see here, this is like a pipe conveying water, and this is a very large pipe conveying more water. Therefore, here the number of electrons crossing every cross section will be very less. Whereas here at the same time, here more number of electrons can come out through this cross section. So in a given time, in which of these two wires more number of electrons can be conducted easily is the second case. Is it not? So if the cross section of the wire is very large, means more number of electrons can cross at a time. That means conduction is more, conductivity is more. Therefore, the resistance should be less. So, if the area of cross section is large, then the electrical resistance will be less. Understand? Therefore, how does the resistance of the conductor depend on the area of cross section? Directly or inversely? Yes, it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So, I can take that R is proportional to 1 by A, where A is called the area of cross section of the conductor. So now, what are the two factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends? One is its length, and second one is its area of cross section. How does it depend on? The radius of the resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to its length, and the resistance of the conductor is inversely proportional to its area of cross section. Combining these two, I am going to write R is proportional to L by A. R is proportional to L by A. Or we can also write this as an equation by multiplying by a constant of proportionality, and that one is rho into L by A. So this is a standard equation for solving numerical problems in competitive exams. So the resistance of a conductor is equal to rho, a constant of proportionality, into length L divided by area of cross section A. And this rho, I told you, it is a constant of proportionality, which is called as the resistivity. The resistivity or specific resistance. It is having two names. What are the two names? Rho is called the resistivity or specific resistance of whom? Of the material of the conductor. Of the material. Okay, material means what? It may be copper or aluminum with which the wire or conductor is made up of. So it is a property of the material with which the conductor is made up of. So if I will write an expression for the specific resistance, rho means rearrange this and we get an expression for rho equal to what? R into A divided by L. So R into A divided by L. The unit of resistance R is ohm, and the unit of area is meter square, divided by the unit of length is meter. So this square and this term get cancelled. What is remaining? So what is the unit? Unit of rho. Unit of rho is ohm into meter. Is it that? Ohm into meter is the unit of what? Specific resistance or resistivity. Understand? Okay, now how to define this specific resistance? We will get a definition for the specific resistance by taking if length is equal to 1 meter and area of cross section is equal to 1 meter square. Imagine a wire is having a length of 1 meter and area of cross section is 1 meter square. Then what will be rho equal to? If you substitute, then rho is equal to what? R into 1 divided by 1. This is equal to R itself. Is it not? So when the area of cross section is 1 meter square and the length of the wire is 1 meter, then what will be the resistance offered by the material? That is equal to its resistivity. So how to define resistivity or specific resistance? The specific resistance of a material is defined as the resistance offered by a conductor having unit length and unit area of cross section. Understand? And what is its unit? Specific resistance is having a unit of ohm meter. Okay. Now I will take the reciprocal of the resistivity, 1 by rho. This is denoted by the symbol sigma. 1 by rho. This is the reciprocal of the resistivity, and it is denoted by the symbol sigma, and this is called as conductivity. This is called as conductivity of the material. Okay, conductivity is defined as what? The reciprocal of the resistivity of the material. And if the unit of resistivity is ohm meter, means then unit of sigma must be equal to 1 divided by ohm meter. and this is equal to ohm power minus 1, meter power minus 1, and this also is called as mho per meter. Mho per meter. Okay students, let us summarize now what we have studied here is the statement of Ohm's law. At constant temperature, the potential difference across a conductor is proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. That is, V is proportional to I, or V is equal to a constant of proportionality R into I. And from this expression, the resistance of the conductor R is found to be equal to the ratio of the potential difference and the current flowing through the conductor, and its SI unit is ohm. And the reciprocal of the electrical resistance is called as the conductance G, and its SI unit is what? Ohm power minus 1. Okay. Now, what are the different factors on which the resistance of the conductor actually depends on? It is depending on the length. That is, directly R is proportional to L and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. And combining these two, we have got R is equal to rho into L by A. From this equation, you must know that the resistance of the conductor depends upon three factors. In this equation, there are three factors. What are the factors? The resistance depends upon the length of the conductor, area of cross section of the conductor, and the material of the conductor. In addition to this, what will happen if the conductor is heated? When the conductor is heated, the electrons will absorb the heat energy and they will vibrate vigorously. Their kinetic energy will be increased. Also, the ions will vibrate vigorously so that the electrical resistance will change. Understand? Because when the ions will obstruct the path by vibrating vigorously, then more resistance will be given to the free electrons. So, as the temperature increases, the resistance will also change. This is why we have started Ohm's law. How? At constant temperature only this is true. Okay students, in this equation there are three factors. That is, resistance depends upon the length of the conductor, area of cross section, and the specific resistance of the material. In addition to that, it also depends on the temperature. That later we are going to study. Okay students, so from this, what is the expression for the specific resistance? We have got rho equal to R into A by L. Substituting the units individually, what is the final unit of rho equal to ohm meter? Ohm into meter. Okay. If length of the conductor is specified as 1 meter and area of cross section is specified as 1 meter square, then what should be rho equal to R? This is how we have got a definition for specific resistance. So, the resistivity or specific resistance of the material of a conductor is defined as the resistance offered to the flow of current by a conductor of length 1 meter and area of cross section 1 meter square. Finally, what is the reciprocal of the resistivity? It is called as conductivity. So, what must be the unit of conductivity then? 1 by ohm meter. That is ohm inverse per meter. That ohm inverse also is called as mho. Therefore, sigma is having a unit of what? Mho per meter. Okay students, so next we are going to see the microscopic form of Ohm's law, which is very interesting. Okay.